Meet Bobby, who finds herself missing her boyfriend, Ko, due to their prolonged separation. Longing to see him, Bobby reaches out, and they start exchanging messages. Out of the blue, Ko surprises her by secretly showing up to propose marriage. Overjoyed, Bobby accepts, and they soon become intimate. In the following scene, Bobby is out shopping for a wedding dress when her friend asks if she's prepared to commit her life to Ko. Bobby confidently affirms her readiness, sharing how much her life has transformed since Ko entered it. However, her friend, who values new experiences and prefers not to settle down, expresses her reservations about marriage. Bobby encourages her to keep an open mind about finding the right partner. Nearby, an elderly woman overhears their conversation and reminisces about a time when marriages were arranged simply by looking at a photo of the groom. It's also revealed that Bobby not only dates Ko, but is also his business partner, handling transactions for him. On a crucial day, Ko has a court appearance, and Bobby accompanies him along with his assistant. While heading to court, Bobby spots a motorcycle and recalls fond memories of riding one. She arrives at the courthouse first, anxiously awaiting Ko's arrival. When Judge Marcos walks in, Bobby is captivated by his striking presence. When Ko finally arrives, the hearing begins. His company, in partnership with another firm called Gore, faces fraud allegations. Ko presents evidence that ultimately proves their innocence. Judge Marcos acknowledges the proof and acquits the company. Ko, filled with joy, embraces Bobby, but she can't help but keep her eyes on the judge, signaling her appreciation. Next, Ko has to leave for another city on business, bidding farewell to Bobby. The following day, she learns that her bachelor party is scheduled, and she invites her assistant and best friend, Thiago. Thiago, however, declines, wanting to focus on creating new memories. Feeling nostalgic, Bobby decides to sell her cherished motorcycle. At the bachelor party, Bobby and her friends enjoy a male stripper's performance. They present her with gifts, but one contains pictures of Ko with another woman. Devastated by this revelation, Bobby locks herself in the bathroom, prompting her friends to worry and call Thiago for help. When Thiago arrives, he comforts Bobby and encourages her to come out. Driven by a desire for revenge, Bobby resolves to visit Ko's office to uncover information about the woman in the photos. However, a security guard blocks their entry. They quickly fabricate a story, claiming Bobby is planning a surprise for Ko's engagement, which prompts the guard to reluctantly let them in, but insists on accompanying them. While her friend distracts the guard in another room, Bobby and Thiago sneak deeper into the office. In their search, Bobby uncovers evidence that reveals Ko had been involved in a 2-year relationship with the woman in the photos. Bobby soon realizes that the gifts Ko had previously given her were identical to those he gifted to the other woman. Consumed by anger at this revelation, she starts to smash things in the office. Although the security guard grows suspicious of the noise, Bobby's friend skillfully diverts his attention. Eventually, all 4 of them emerge from their respective hiding spots. When the guard inquires about the sounds of breaking, they all deny hearing anything. After getting her revenge on Ko, Bobby experiences a whirlwind of emotions, feeling both satisfaction and sorrow. While she relishes in having gotten back at him, she is also heartbroken by his betrayal. As time passes, Bobby finds it increasingly difficult to move on from Ko, with memories of him causing her pain. In an effort to cope, she begins using drugs. One morning, Bobby's friend comes over and finds her heavily under the influence. Concerned for her well-being, her friend decides to give Bobby a makeover. The transformation revitalizes Bobby and inspires her to enter business partnership with Ko. She then heads to the courthouse to retrieve a file she had forgotten a few days prior. While there, the judge, captivated by Bobby's new look, develops feelings for her. Shortly after, Bobby runs into Ko, who still has lingering feelings for her. However, Bobby is resolute in not wanting to rekindle their relationship and firmly asks him to leave. The judge steps in as a mediator, successfully convincing Ko to walk away. In the next scene, Bobby and Judge Marcos are at a club, enjoying drinks and engaging in conversation. Bobby notices Marcos glancing at another woman, which piques her curiosity. He then decides to approach the girl, prompting Bobby to leave the club. Later, Bobby discusses her experience with her friend, expressing her newfound perspective on relationships. She feels positive about not committing her life to just one person, instead choosing to explore new experiences and find happiness with different partners. Upon returning home, Bobby is startled to find the front door ajar and her belongings strewn about, making her feel anxious and frightened. She quickly calls Thiago for help. Thiago arrives at Bobby's house, and she shares how the judge rescued her from some criminals, expressing her admiration for him. However, Thiago warns her about the potentially dangerous nature of Judge Marcos. During their conversation, Thiago confesses his feelings for Bobby, but she makes it clear that they are just friends and that their relationship will remain platonic. Disheartened, Thiago leaves, resolved to make the most of life. Bobby soon returns to her old ways, deciding to buy back the motorcycle she sold at her bachelor party. The next day, she joins a biker club, and they all set off on a trip together. During the ride, Bobby spots one of the bikers, Judge Marcos. They end up engaging in intimate activities, but later, another biker warns Bobby to steer clear of Marcos, describing him as an unusual person. This advice leaves Bobby feeling uneasy. Later, while out, Bobby receives an email containing videos of her and Judge Marcos, in which he expresses his desire to be intimate with her. This revelation intensifies her suspicions about both KO and Thiago. As the days pass, Bobby successfully unlocks KO's laptop, uncovering evidence of his fraudulent activities. It turns out that KO had orchestrated a court case against his own company, using the name of another business. Though Bobby could seek revenge, she ultimately decides against it due to her lingering feelings for KO. Meanwhile, Marcos invites Bobby on a date, and she agrees. As their relationship develops, Bobby finds herself frequently visiting Marcos's home, where they enjoy each other's company and become intimate. Eventually, Bobby moves in with Marcos. One night, a woman named Paula comes to the house, and Bobby recognizes her from the videos. Paula turns out to be Marcos's wife, and she treats Bobby rudely. Discovering that Marcos is married infuriates Bobby, and she storms out, hopping on her bike. However, her anger clouds her judgment, leading to a serious accident. Bobby is admitted to the hospital, where she receives treatment and ultimately recovers. Upon returning home, Marcos visits to apologize and clarify his situation. He reveals that he has a 4-year-old daughter whose health issues were caused by his ex-wife's drug use during pregnancy, which led to their separation. Hearing this helps Bobby feel more at ease. In the next scene, Marcos dedicates his time to investigating who was behind Bobby's accident. He instructs his assistant to keep an eye on those around her. Meanwhile, KO appears in a different scene, clearly beaten. It's revealed that Thiago, in league with a gang, orchestrated the attacks against KO. After Bobby stole KO's laptop, the gang had been searching for both KO and Thiago to recover the money. Bobby's relationship with Marcos has kept them from harming her. Although Thiago warned Bobby to stay away from Marcos, their plan is now falling apart, and they plot to kill her. Marcos, who has been monitoring Bobby's friends, overhears their plans. He tries to call her, but she ignores his calls out of anger. At this moment, Bobby is with Thiago, planning to file a police complaint against KO, when Thiago suddenly kidnaps her. Despite Marcos's persistent attempts to reach Bobby, she cannot answer out of fear of Thiago. When Thiago's attention is momentarily diverted, Bobby takes the chance to answer Marcos's call and explains her predicament. Bobby's friend has access to her live location through an app, so she quickly contacts her friend to share her whereabouts. Meanwhile, Thiago takes Bobby to a dark forest, where it appears they intend to kill her. KO and Thiago are plotting Bobby's murder, and Thiago instructs Kato to shoot her. However, Kato refuses, and in an unexpected twist, Thiago takes KO's gun and shoots him instead, making Bobby the new target. Just as Thiago prepares to shoot Bobby, Marcos arrives and confronts Thiago. During the struggle, Thiago shoots Marcos, inflicting serious injuries. However, just as Thiago is about to pull the trigger on Bobby, Marcos' assistant intervenes and shoots Thiago from behind, neutralizing the threat. Bobby rushes to Marcos to check on him, and thankfully he's still alive. Help arrives quickly, and Marcos is taken to the hospital. After a few days, he makes a complete recovery. In the end, Bobby and Marcos get married, and she also adopts his daughter. The movie concludes here. Thank you for watching this recap. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know which movie you'd like me to recap next.